Today I'm going to be discussing the answers for Unit 4 test review. Number one is asking for the slope of the line. Whenever we are given a graph, we find the slope by doing m equals rise over run. So when I look at this graph, I see that there are 2 points, a point here and a point here. And I want to create the triangle going from one point to the other by doing my rise and my run. So now I need to look at the scales on my x-axis. So my scale is going by ones. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And my y-axis is also going by ones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now I'm going to count my rise over my run. So I'm starting with the bottom point, and I'm going to go up, counting the rise. That's 1, 2, 3. So over here I have a rise of 3. And from that point, I'm going to count my run. Since I'm moving to the left or backwards, then my run is going to be negative. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down so I don't forget it here in a minute. So I'm going to move backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have a run of -6. Now, when I look at this fraction is not reduced yet. So I need to reduce this fraction. I'm going to reduce both of them by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And -6 divided by 3 is a -2. So my slope is -1/2. Now, you should have known from the get-go that it could not be a possibility of C or D, because those are positive slopes, and I can obviously see that my line is moving downward from left to right. All right, number 2. Number 2 says the table below represents which equation? So now I have a table of data. So what I want to first figure out is if this is proportional or non-proportional. Now there are 2 different ways I can tell that. One thing I can look for is to see if there's the ordered pair 0, 0, or to see if there's an ordered pair that says 0 and some y number. That will tell me proportional or not. So looking here, I see that I have 0, -6. So now that tells me that's not going through the origin, so therefore it must be non-proportional. So if this is non-proportional, I'm going to be using the equation y equals mx plus b. Remember that your m is your slope and your b is your y-intercept. So when I look at this table of data, this 0, -6 that I have already is my y-intercept. That is where it would cross the y-axis. So that means my -6 is going to go in place of this b. So far I know I have y equals, I don't know my m yet, and I have x, and then I have -6 for my y-intercept. Now, from there I can already tell my answer, because here that's in the y equals mx plus b, but this does not have the -6. This is a proportional equation. This follows y equals mx, and we already found out that it's not proportional. Here is my -6, so that's good, and here in the b spot is not a -6. Now I want to look and see how do we get this 4, because we want to make sure our answer is correct. So in order to get this 4, we know it's not proportional, so therefore it's not growing by a constant. So now I have to find the change in y divided by the change in x. So how does the y table change? So when I'm looking from 10 to -6, how did I get there? That's right, I added 4. And from -6 to -2, how did we get there? By an addition of 4. And from -2 to +2, again, an addition of 4. So my change of y was changing by 4 units. Now when I look at the change of x, how am I getting from a -1 to a 0? That's a +1. And a 0 to a 1, +1. And from 1 to 2, +1. So therefore my change in x was +1. So 4 divided by 1 equals 4. So that is going to be my m, my slope. And so now my equation, y equals 4x minus 6. And there's my 4 that I was looking for. So C is my answer. All right, looking at number 3 and 4. Okay, we're going to use this scenario for both problems. It says, on a 2-week job, a repairman works a total of 70 hours. He charges $75 plus $40 per hour. An equation shows this relationship where X, okay, and this is important right here, X is the number of hours and Y is the total fee. All right, so number 3, which number is the slope of the line shown by the equation? So remember, slope is my M. Okay, and number 4 says which number is the y-intercept. So remember, my y-intercept is my B. So when I'm creating this equation, we have y equals mx plus b. So the scenario says he charges $75. So this $75 is a flat fee, all right, or what we call an initial fee that you're going to have to pay no matter what. So that's the plus b. So no matter what, I'm going to have to pay $75 plus, all right, and then here it says $40 per hour. Okay, that per means each hour. And my X represents the hours. So that means $40 per X or per hour. And there's your equation. So now you know that your 40 matches up with your M and your 75 matches up with your B. So my M, my slope, is 40. And my B, my y-intercept, is 75. There you go.